Hi friends, Plato again. I thought of exploring about the critique of the history of ideas made by his disciple Aristotle, but changed my mind instigated by our friend Li Byung. Lee questioned me about Plato's role as a member of the aristocracy. And he is right. Plato has a member of the aristocracy. His family was proud that they would have an ascendant, heroes, and even gods. Young Plato wanted to follow a political career, something pride for a brilliant young man like him at that time. But things did not happen as he wished. In any case, politic was present throughout his life, and he, on some occasions, suffered bad consequences because of his ideas and actions about politics. We can follow the thoughts of Plato about politics also in the book that we found the myth of the cave, the Republic or Politeia. This book has a hug influence in our way to think about society in Western world for centuries, and nowadays is still an important vehicle to support us to analyze our world, even if we don't agree with him. Indeed, usually the historians say that his book is an utopia or a description of an ideal society. The word, however, don't existed in the ancient Greece and was created by Thomas Morus, an Englishman of state and philosopher in the 16th century. The main question that Plato pursues in this book is what is justice? As always, the characters in the dialogue try to answer across opinions, image, examples. A multiplicity of things that Socrates, with his habitual irony and his dialectic method, will demonstrate incompatibles with the real knowledge of the essence of the question, shall it? And to answer the question, Plato mobilized a lot of considerations about theory of knowledge, ethics, psychology, etc. Of course, that disciplines don't exist yet with these names in that times. Plato defends one psychology in which the soul is divided in three parts: the soul rational, the soul irascible, and the soul concupiscent. To explain this, he narrates a myth, but we can forget it for a while. For other hand, we know that the polis, the city, has three classes: the economic class, that includes agricultors, merchants, and artisans; the military class; and the class of the magistrates. To an individual being equilibrated, is necessary that the rational part of his soul command the other parts, or it is necessary that rational soul commands the emotional souls. In the polis is the same. If the class of magistrates will command the city, we will find justice there. But it's not so simple like this, because all the classes could be corrupted. It's enough to the preeminence of justice that the magistrates having the power. Plato established the criteria of the number of people in power to characterize a political regime. Democracy, power of all. Aristocracy, power of some. And monarchy, power of one. These regimes are exposed to the possibility of corruption. Not because people could be corrupt like nowadays, but because Plato considered the corruption of the regime itself in accord its nature. Thus, democracy can be corrupted in anarchy, aristocracy in a oligarchy, and monarchy in a tyranny or tyranny. But why? Because each class has its dynamism, the motor, and its arete, quality, virtue. When one class dominates, imposing its characteristics on others, we have corruption. Democracy for Plato is perhaps the worst regime because in itself, according to him, everyone can do whatever they want. Freedom is promiscuous because equals and non equals are treated in some way, in the same way. Laws cannot show their efficiency because they are changed at all times. However, his vision about aristocracy isn't very good as well. If we had a military aristocracy in which the dynamis is the fight and the arete is the courage, of course it could conduct the police to a situation of corruption, injustice, when the warriors choosing to pursue only their sign of distinction and honor, provoking fights unnecessary. The aristocracy by blood, on the other hand, is banned by Plato because through the education process. Is banned by Plato through the education process. The real quality of the individuals isn't a product of his ancestrality, but something that the education should extract. Some of us have, in accord to him, or in accord a myth narrated by him, a soul of gold, others a soul of silver, and the majority a soul of iron. The education process should extract of everyone the best of his nature. And the police with justice is a police where the class economic supplies the resources to survival. The military class defends it against its enemies, and the class of the magistrate administered produces the laws and cares for its obedience. In the top, the most wise of all people, the king philosopher. Each one of these classes needs some special cares to preserve its motor and virtue, that in the just measure are helpful for the polis. The merchants, for example, can have some wealth, but not the warriors. Plato tried to implant his ideas in Syracuse, seat of the Magna Graecia, to the Sicily, Italy, educating the king. But his goals isn't achieved, and he finished sold like a slave. Maybe I will speak about it in other opportunity. See you.